Hi, my name is Natalia, and I'm going to be talking about the Panhandle. So, as most of us know, last week we took a trip to the Panhandle to collect data on our observations and evidence in the Panhandle. But before I mention more about that, I'm going to talk a little about the controversy that's going on in the Panhandle, which in regards to the multi-use path. So as you can see here from my picture I'm presenting, coming from Fell is a bike lane that ends at the panhandle and becomes a multi-use path. Um, so the trouble with the multi-use path is mostly with cyclists, particularly fast-speeding cyclists, because there's so many different users such as joggers, walkers, cyclists. It causes cyclists to slow down and creates an inability to ride at a speed that allows them to get to their final destination. So with this current situation, the Panhandle Residents Organization um, asked local residents if they would like a parking protected lane along Fell and Oak. Also, in addition to that organization, the North Panhandle Neighborhood Association conducted a survey, and out of the 700 responses, more than 70% were in support of an added protected bike lane. So with this support and data that was collected, we'll be able to show city officials the high demand for an added bike lane and also a demand for street improvement. Um, Along with this, the San Francisco Transportation Agency showed that trips have grown since 2009 to 2015, where in 2009, 25,000 trips were being taken and increased more than half to 50,000 in 2015. So, with that calculations per month, more than 500,000 people are using the Panhandle to travel um, to their destinations. Um, so, with the amount of bikers using the Panhandle, it would be beneficial for cyclists who are traveling, and also would be beneficial for residents who are using the multi-use path because they would avoid the disturbance of fast-speeding cyclists around them. The multi-path in the Panhandle will be primarily used for walkers, joggers, and casual bikers, so it would relieve a lot of cycling congestion in the Panhandle. So with the data I collected, which was observing the different categories of people using the path, and I saw within the 15-minute span that 118 cyclists were using the path and about 50 joggers and walkers. So imagining that amount of cyclists within a day would be more than thousands of people. So though there are many benefits to adding a protected bike lane, there are a few trade-offs. One being that the cost would range from about 1.6 to 3.9 million dollars, and also the other would be that it would cut 75 of the 280 unmarked parking spots on both the north and south edges of the Panhandle. So, although there is another survey being conducted specifically for residents um, around the Panhandle, it is problematic because a lot of those people who live across the streets from the Panhandle are opposed to this added bike lane because it would um, it would cause them to lose their parking spots that are necessary apparently for them. Um, but because this is a recent um, discussion about adding the bike lane, there are a lot of petitions and surveys going on. So if you are in the Panhandle and you see people with clipboards, let your voice be heard and sign your name.